Hey guys, welcome to this live stream. Do you guys hear me well? Let's see. Just want to make sure that you guys hear me well before I go live. Well, we are live anyways, but I just want to make sure that everyone hears me well. Can anyone say something? Maybe in the chat. Let me know if you guys hear me well and if the video is going well so we can get moving. Yeah, so just wanted to we'll go over the questions, I guess. There were some community questions that were sent over to Pavo, and he sent me over like a list. Hey Sam Mink, nice to meet you as well. It's evening time here in Norway, about 10:15. So it's late night. So I'll be here for another hour or so. If you guys, obviously, if the questions keep on coming, and if you guys are active, definitely share as much information with you guys as possible. Yeah, so for the community M&A, there's the first question was from Chris Norris. He said, cloud providers offer more than storage and spare capacity, increasing their most valuable service in data analytics and machine learning, made possible by vast troves of data they crunch. He said, does Iogon have the capacity to leverage from small data to big data? I'll post that question here. I guess not enough space, I guess 200 letters, characters. But to answer the question, we're working actually with decentralized compute next year, and we'll be focusing on, we're focusing first on decentralized storage. But after we get the decentralized computing up and running, what's going to happen is that we'll be able to cater to machine learning and analytics as well, not specifically going into that branch, but helping companies do analytics and helping companies do machine learning. For example, machine learning startup companies in Israel, for example, there's a few startup medical companies that actually spend upwards of 1 million USD per month. And by using our service, for example, they can save up to 60 to 80%. And that would really benefit them and they can allocate their funds elsewhere to their staff and things like that. Welcome to the stream, Decentralized Games, and hello, everyone. We're here live from Norway. The weather is not so bad here, but it's nighttime here. So I was thinking about doing the stream outside, but it's a bit noisy outside. I don't have my headset. Next time we'll have my headset, so we'll take the stream outside as well. The second question on the community service was community AMA was earlier this year. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said that when there's a confirmation of reasonable, approximately 50% clean energy use by miners with a positive future trend, Tesla would resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. As a cloud computing platform, what is your view on the cloud mining industry, and do you intend at some point to involve Iogon in the sector? Yeah, I mean, if Iogon wants to actually focus a lot of their focus on renewable energy. So the whole premises is based on unused capacities. Rohit actually did a calculation on that regard, and one of our applications to Innovation Norway here in Norway, the government-funded program. And in the paper, in the application, it basically said that we save CO2 emissions, so less CO2 emissions are emitted while using unused capacities. So it's factual based as well. And at the same time, in Norway, for example, a lot of the energy is renewable. So about 99% of the energy is renewable here. So we want to focus that onto the cloud service as well, giving the user that option. So one of the things that we're doing is learning the behavior of each resource provider. So learning the behavior of each resource provider, one of the factors that we can implement is green energy. So let's say if the end user wants green energy or green data, quote unquote, then we can allocate the shards or allocate the tasks specifically to those resource providers that are green. So that way the user feels like he's using, he's promoting green and he's using this, the green vector, I guess, where Elon Musk is really heavily focusing on, right? Yeah. All right. That was a second question, Mike. Thanks for that question. Third question was from Reese. He says, "Can you give us any information about partnerships in the works external to crypto? Would be great to hear about this." So definitely, I mean, we can definitely discuss that. I mean, we can't go into full details, but we can say there were discussions with two uh, data center providers. One is a smaller data center. The other one has one of the biggest data centers providers in the world. So those are the two partnerships in discussion. I think the latter will be very exciting news for the Iogon community when it's announced. It will take some time because it's a traditional space, but yeah, nice to be see you here as well, Sergey. Um, Good night. Yeah, I mean, it's for us. It's there's some partnerships coming along the way. There's also one in the crypto space as well for our staking model that's coming up. So we want to focus. We have three partnerships up and coming. These things take time. I know the community wants to hear news every now and then. So we want to focus on the product and to make sure that we release the news when we can. But those partnerships are in play. Um, yeah. Crypto Iker. His question was, what are you doing to improve the Iogon swap? I guess this relates to more the ICO investors. I think we're working on improving the compatibility with different wallets. I think there's issues with that, so we're improving that, and that's the was actually the main issue there. So that's what we're fixing. Yeah. Quickly answering decentralized games question: can we expect IIG's staking rewards and any other crypto will be possible? Yes, staking will be possible in the near future. We're just finishing up on the modeling. We're trying to come up with something unique, not to dilute the IIG holders further, but to create incentives to hold IIG as long as possible. Kent from Kyber, can I share my iPhone storage to Iogon? If so, when I'm not in my country, how do you guard GDPR regulations? So uh, again, we're tracking each resource provider through their different variables. So including no problem. I understood what you meant. Yeah, so we're tracking each person's, not each person's, each resource provider's location. So if you move to a different country and you're in one country, let's say you're in Germany and you fly all the way to Canada, your IP address on your phone is going to change. So by that sense, when you do share your data or you share your resources, then your location is different. So now you're not going to be given a file if someone else is trying to be GDPR compliant. Hope that answers your question, but the phone storage is not going to be open till next year. We're planning on having it around Q1 2020, 2022. That's the approximate date. Yeah, we'll move over to the next question, which was Elliot Taylor. He said, why did you choose Cardano? What are the key benefits you think you will make your project stronger? So Cardano, we chose, there's a few factors that went into Cardano. First of all, it's transaction speed, transactional cost, interoperability, also decentralization. So not a lot of people know that Cardano is one of the most decentralized blockchains out there. And there's a misconception about that. And they have so many stakers, one of the most stakers probably in any blockchain, aside from, maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum is not close to Cardano either. In that sense, I mean, there's a debate around that, but as far as Cardano's implying, they're more decentralized than even Ethereum. And main focus for us is mostly the interoperability, the cost, and the speed, because every encryption, every file that we encrypt has to be, the data has to be made public on the hash of that bit of it has to be public on the blockchain. So that's transactional cost, and Ethereum is not very scalable in that sense, especially when we get larger and larger, right? So those are the reasons. Frankie had the next question. We see today a lot of data leaks from government organizations to even blockchain projects like Poly Network. How do you think Iogon can help with this, and why do you think your solution is better? I don't know if it's better. I don't know. We think, of course, is better. Every company is going to say they're better. That's kind of generic bias, I guess. But how we're trying to do it is in terms of making it more secure and then dual encryption. So we take let's say a file, we shard it and we encrypt it, we spread it across the network, and we store the hash of that or the fingerprint of that specific file on the blockchain. And as far as we know, blockchain, well, to this date, blockchain is unhackable. I mean, the contracts specifically are hackable, but not blockchain itself. So we are able to secure it in a dual kind of. The only person that can get into that system is a person that uploaded it. Yeah, that's Frankie's. I hope that I answered your question, Frankie. Next one, number 8, by Andy Fendi. He says, how can a user with a PC or laptop benefit from Iogon, and any minimal requirements you plan to set? Can we mine IAG? Good question. I think that's a lot of people want to hear when that's available. That again, we're making available to just the resource providers, and thus the two big data center. Well, one big data center that we're bringing on board, and the smaller data center that we bring on board in terms of the partnership. Those resource providers, we want to make sure that the solution is fully optimized and running at a smoothly before we actually give it available to a regular people like yourselves, and so that you can, let's say, earn IAG by providing your resources. Next question is by Proactive Man. I see from your roadmap that you plan to build something for NFTs. What special advantages do you plan to have? It's NFT hype right now in crypto world. Yeah, I mean, NFTs are a big thing, right? The one thing that NFTs are lacking in the space and NFT space is storage or showcase for your NFTs, right? There is a marketplace. By the way, the marketplace is something unique on Iogon. So Iogon is the first one to have a decentralized marketplace. And that's also that solution is patented as well. I know it's against the open source grind, but again, that's what we put a lot of effort into it. So that decentralized marketplace is one thing unique about Iogon, because we want to be decentralized aspect every way. But more so catering to the, let's say, storing your NFTs or let's say showcasing your NFTs in a more secure way, secure fashion, things like that. That's what we're focusing on in the NFT world. I know there's a lot of hype regarding NFTs, and there's a lot of interest in it. People consider it a commodity now, right? It's a different, it's a valuable thing to hold. Yeah, just looking at the chat now. Barbara Winez, do you plan to attract more fund from VCs or so? It's quite inexpensive to build a cloud service. Oh, yes. Yeah, it's very expensive. We actually put in our own funds in it, so we know how expensive it's been. We've spent over €1 million of our own funds into this, and obviously we did an ICO raise, 550K, that included. So we've had grants as well from the government as well. So it's very expensive getting to there, and we still still in the very early phase. We do plan to do equity. We did get a term sheet signed in 2019, actually, with a US-based company. We can't disclose the numbers and the information, but the term sheet's pretty substantial, and we plan to use that as a base value for the company and go for equity rounds for sure. Definitely, we want to increase our budget capacity to expand as quick as we can, because we want to keep our first mover advantage, right? Peter Bobowski, marketplace will be for business or for individuals as well. Everyone can create their own marketplace. It's a decentralized marketplace. Anyone can open up a marketplace, right? So it will be for everyone. And currently it's for enterprises only, but eventually it's going to be for users, right? Ken Kyber, when we can test your platform, I mean regular users. In terms of the actual platform right now, you can test it if you want to store your files. But in terms of the providing your resources, that's something down the line. So, but there is a surprise solution for you guys. So I guess people that are attending the AMA will appreciate that. There is a surprise solution. I won't get too much into it, but it's something that we're working with Cardano directly. And it's going to be unique in a sense that it's going to give free. How do I explain it without giving up too much information? It's protecting free speech, and that's free speech, and that's one of the things that we're focusing on, and then that's something that's MVP that we're going to be creating for. Hopefully, if we get get a presentation up on Cardano, because there's Cardano event at the end of September, and we would like to showcase that MVP to the community by then. So hopefully we get a presentation slot there and a speaking slot, and that'd be great to showcase. Even if you don't, we still showcase it after that event. What profit do you plan to go receive in 1, 2, 3 years? That's a difficult question, Sergey. I mean, we plan to definitely um, we plan we plan to be profitable next year, but really hard to put a number on it, right? I can give you any number, like, and you can make sense of it, or you can't make sense of it. It's just hypothetical, right? It's hard to put numbers on these kind of things. It's only an estimate at the end of the day. What we're striving for is at least to be profit by next year, next time this year. So we do have. Right now, we have 4,000 users using the platform for storage right now. So that's pretty good. It's an increase from 1,600 users a month and a half ago, which is great. And so we're doing well in terms of increasing it. Obviously, they're not paying customers, but the interest is there. All right. There was another question from Garner John. Gaming industry is growing very well along with graphics requirements for games. Do you think Iogon can help? Gaming, gaming has been a big thing that we have thought about before. So one of the things with gaming is latency when you're playing online games. So a lot of the servers are kind of. I know there's a specific crypto coin that's focused. Data is focusing specifically on that in gaming aspect. So something similar along that line. So we don't want to obviously reinvent the same thing, but we can basically use the compute power and things like that to have better latency, better performance, like Theta specifically is doing. So we want to cater to that as well in terms of gaming. We want to give rewards to gamers for providing, let's say, their resources on their gaming console, for example. That was something we can do, give points out to their favorite games and things like that. Bob, when he has 4,000 users, they are business related or just storage testers? Storage testers. I would call them storage testers. They're not business. I don't know if they're business related. It's hard to tell because they're also private users, also businesses. So it's they're not. I can say for a fact that none of them are paying customers. So that we can say for sure. That was my next decentralized games. Yeah, decentral games. Yeah, I mean, guess that definitely your question for sure. Your name says it, right? Yeah, I mean, gaming is definitely a great future. Definitely, it's definitely something that you want to be. I mean, decentralized clouds is much boring than NFTs. Decentralized gaming, but I think everything ties around the cloud for sure. So it's data is everywhere, right? Data is the most important for all these aspects. All right. I think there was a second part question from the Garner John as well. How And what for? Do you have any platforms for the sector? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think we answered most of the questions in terms of gaming. Feel free to. I think that's most of the questions we went through the community AMA, the 10 questions that we picked out. I think Pavel picked out. But yeah, if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free ahead and just drop a message in the chat. I'm happy to answer it while I'm here. Yeah, it's again, just let the viewers know, new viewers know, live here in Norway, and it's about 10:40 p.m. here, late nights. The kids are in bed, the wife's sleeping. Trying to keep my voice at a minimum. How to encryption work in decentralized storage? Um, so encryption. So basically, what we do is we take a file. Let's say if you send a file to Iogon, we basically encrypt it, and then encryption doesn't happen. It happens at the user side. Right now, it happens on the server side, but we want to make it on the user side because then it's encrypted well before it leaves your computer. The problem here that we're solving is the latency performance issue. So once that's solved, we'll give an option for the user to do it at the server side or at the user side. I hope that makes sense. Harsh. Um, Kent Kyber, do you plan to have your own smart contracts? I mean, yes. I mean, if you mean specifically in more smart contracts on Cardano, yes, of course. We plan to have smart contracts on Cardano, not specifically on blockchain. We don't plan that anytime soon. Or we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to build when moon. That's a good question. I mean, yeah, that's a crypto question, but we can't speculate. I think it's Michael, one of our community managers. I think he's on vacation. I hope you're enjoying your vacation, not on watching the live stream. Uh, Bob Ruinas, it's good to talk about real technology company, not like meme coins. Yeah, I mean, some people might like meme coins. I mean, Dogecoin is Elon's talking about it, so people like talking about that. Different things. I think it's weird world that we're living in. NFTs and meme coins are popular, and traditional things like actual traditional companies that actually doing something don't mean a lot. I mean, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, there is much more. Society has changed a little bit in terms of their thinking and how they perceive what value is. So I think it's definitely becoming different. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's definitely fun. I guess that's why they like that NFTs, and there's also speculation and things like that. People like to speculate, especially in the crypto space, because there was so much hype around it, right? Um, Sergey, I believe in the technology. Crypt changed last year. Yeah, crypto changed last year's. Yes, crypto's definitely changed a lot. It's really fast moving, right? Industry. That's why you got to make sure, like we got to keep on our toes to make sure. There's so many people out there, so many companies out there, so many coins out there. It's ridiculous. It's hard to compete, but that also keeps that motivation going, like that competitive nature going. You're like, okay, we want to do better. Why aren't we doing something like these guys? Things like that. How can we make it better? So it's always it does create a lot of motivation as well. So what's inside for early users, as Michael said. Uh, I mean. For the early stakers, I mean, for the early investors, we're actually doing something for the staking incentives. So, staking incentives will be based on basically, let's say if you're staking IAG and you're trying to hold your IAG as much as possible. That people are asking about, that's completely normal. So, what we're going to do is the second year runway that we have, the funds that we've collected for the second year runway. We're going to stake the USDC in a stake pool, and we're going to earn more than the regular market. So the regular market on USDC returns about 4%. We can earn up to 8 or more percent, and we're going to share most of that with the IAG stakers. So instead of receiving IAG in return, you get USDC in return plus additional IAG, but that will limit the dilution, right? And then that will increase people staking IAG as well because you're getting stable coin in return, stable income, and I think it's a win-win scenario for everyone. We are also thinking of doing it in different ways, like any kind of staking that we do within the company treasury. We share those rewards with the community. Uh, Not a lot of companies doing it that way, but this is what we're thinking of doing. And there are a lot of rewards in that. And that share it with the community. I mean, just share it with the people that are staking IIG. And the ICO investors, the early investors, will benefit in a way that they always get the highest return possible because the returns will base on how much you stake and the length you stake. Yeah, and we're fine tuning that right now in terms of the modeling to make sure that the longevity of the coin is not diluted right away. It takes a long time and it makes sense mathematically, right? Um, yeah, let's see. Let's go to the chat again. What's more real for problem solving? Let's look at. It's more for the real problem solving. Let's look on Solana. I mean, Solana is definitely getting a lot of hype these days. Um, we want to focus on Cardano. Eventually, we'll see where that leads to. But Cardano is definitely something that we really want to focus on because they're really supporting us, and we want to focus on that first. Iogon will be the next. Yeah, we're definitely motivated in that direction. Definitely. Kent Kyber, by the way, old token on the old contract, will be burned or dead in 15 months? Yes. We actually plan every swap that we do. So everything that's swapped goes. The old tokens are burned. New tokens are given to the old holder, and the remaining that's held by the team will also be burned in the near future. So we'll make an announcement of that so you guys know when that happens. Congrats for the Btr votes. Another great news for the community. Yes, I mean we got a lot of votes. It was the most votes ever on Btr. So that I think Kin, which is pretty large market cap, came in a much less votes than us. We had about I think 14 million votes. So the votes work like basically every token is a vote. So we had 14 million votes, and Kin I think had around 10. So we passed it by a big margin, and we also were the fastest to go to 4 million. So we in 10 minutes we got 4 million votes. So definitely a lot of interest, but hopefully we see that in the community soon, right? Yeah, Pablo with 14.4. And Kent Kyber again, any transfer to Cardano swap will be for old tokens as well. We don't think so. It's going to be from the new contract if there is a swap. We still have to think about exactly how we're going to go about that. So we're first waiting for the smart contract release for Cardano, and then we'll go from there. We're on the testnet, by the way, on Cardano testnet. So we will get information when it's announced, right? Bauer, I'm waiting for Iogon on Btr. Yeah, I mean Btr. We will be definitely listed. Hopefully, on now that we've basically been accepted onto Btr, we'll be listed in their near future. How is the test going? Yeah, the test is going great. Like right now, we can't. We're waiting for the smart contract feature on testnet, which is going to be released around September 1st, I believe. And once we get that, then we can test a lot more. So we're just waiting for that. So that's our developers on the testnet and also on the cohort 2 on Plutus Pioneer program. So we're definitely going to be testing it out in the near future. The smart contract feature, that's going to be the real test. And that's hopefully we get everything going, and hopefully there's no problems and things like that. And then we start migrating to Cardano shortly after that. Yeah, I think we have about we still have some time. I guess if you guys want to ask any more questions, Sergey, it's late night already. Let's give Navjit I sleep late. I don't get so much sleep anymore. It's So I'm waking up early. Like the kids wake me up around 7:30, even earlier sometimes. And then I'm sleeping around just after midnight, around 30 minutes after midnight, because sometimes I have meetings, like when the kids go to bed. Then I have meetings after the kids go to bed, and then so it's a very hectic life. But I'm used to it. Yeah, no worries. It's kind of a normal life. Michael, did all positions posted on LinkedIn filled? Yeah, I mean, they're not all filled yet. There are some positions available. We are looking for full-time blockchain. We're always looking for blockchain developers. We're always looking for full stack developers. And we are currently and specifically looking for a technical writer, specifically that has background in writing cloud architecture documents, things like that. So those are the jobs that we're open right now and that we're looking for. We're also going to be expanding in Poland. We're going to have an office there. Um, we're going to have a front end team there out of Poland and Warsaw. And we're opening up a new office in Oslo in Norway. So lots going on, and we're onboarding the staff. So it's kind of a transition phase. We're onboarding a lot of staff, but they have their contractual obligations to their previous employer, so they don't get onboarded until a little bit later. There's always a 3 month clause, so we get onboarded. Like some of them get onboarded in September, beginning of September. Some of them get onboarded in October, so on. So it's a transitional phase because we got the funding, so we have to start hiring people. So yeah, it takes some time to get going. So in the meantime, we're doing as much as we can. Yeah. Yeah, Pavel. Yes, definitely. That's a Polish name for sure. Polish office in Krakow. We're going to have 5 to 10 developers there. Yeah. Pavel, I also asked the question. I need to say that it's a first try for MMA, and we plan to do. Yes, definitely. We plan to do this as much as we can now. I mean, if there's interest and people want to get engaged, we'll try to maybe even set up like a community call kind of thing where everyone can talk specifically with voices and put a even if they want to do video calls, whatever community feels like they want to do. We'll try to do this more often, and we'll try to combine it with the co-founders and team members as well. That way, you get more information, more feel for the team that's working behind the project. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, it's not that many viewers. Definitely today we have right now currently we have 11 viewers, which is still good. I mean, it takes time to increase, and I think that we have to start somewhere, and it's going to increase as the community grows and also as the interest grows. So we try to keep that interest live by going with these AMAs. Maybe try to make them exciting. I don't know if we maybe do some airdrops or something, and then that way increase community activity or something like that. Um, the top was 15. I checked. Oh, okay, 15. Yeah, it's saying different on my feed for some reason. Yeah. Um, yeah. What other questions do you guys might have? Any questions other than that? If there's any updates that I have, I don't think, aside from the Oslo office that's opening up, we're moving over to there. We're we're building some servers there. Actually, we're setting up the servers there, so we can set up the Cardano staking pools as well. Yeah, I mean, definitely more airdrop sounds cool. Definitely a free Icon tokens. I mean, we try to get involved. We'll try to do it in airdrops or something more fun. Maybe NFT drops or something like that for the early kind of AMA participants or something like that. Something unique to make it fun. Of course, we want to not dilute IAG token holders as much as possible, but maybe even rewards in USDC or things like that. We'll think of something to make it more interactive, things like that. Luca, good luck, guys. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, we should get some developers involved as well. I mean, we'll get we'll get our team involved in these chats, our co-founders, things like that. Once we do get more traffic and more viewers and more interest, I think that it's definitely more people, maybe different people each week or something, maybe more team members, things like that. Right now, it's only myself talking to myself, looking at the chat. So it feels awkward a little bit, but I usually like to talk to people in person or like see them in person, and that's a much better way to communicate. Um, yeah. Any other questions you guys might have? Drop a line. Feel free to drop a line if you guys have any more questions. It's almost 11 o'clock p.m. here, so if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to drop off and maybe come attend the next day. I appreciate you guys attending today, and appreciate you guys listening in as well. Yeah, we'll try to do this more often and get more questions and more updates lately. But obviously, you can only update so much so that it's got such a short time. But crypto space like to have updates every 2 minutes. What's going on now? What's going on now? Yeah. All right, guys. Take care. I appreciate it. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening wherever you guys are. Thanks. Take care. Bye.